All right, welcome back, you lovely pot coven, you. It's been a long week without you, and we're back with our third episode on altars, and our plant mama Ella is gonna be feeding us some yummy information here shortly. But before we get into that, Ella, what are you up to in your business?
I am still kind of on break. Hopefully, I will have some new stuff in shop right now. So yeah, always come look at my shop. Always come follow me on Instagram. I'm always doing things, but I just kind of live in the moment in the summer. So, catch me while I'm here at the celestial.rose. Wait, at the .celestial.rose on Instagram. Come follow me. Did I say that right?
Yeah, you did. For
Yeah.
some reason in my brain, it just didn't
Yeah.
right.
When you hear it too many times in one day, it just feels awkward. So, anyway, come follow me. I love you. Thanks. Jasmine, what you up to?
June 24th. What am I up to? Time isn't real. I don't know.
Not today, anyway.
No, honestly, I'm probably not putting anything out right now. Probably not. Probably just best to get a reading at the moment. I would assume I'm probably working on putting out like an astrology like mini course or master class right now. I will be putting out a larger course, not so basic witch. I know I alluded to it in the first episode of this block 2 weeks ago, but that's not going to be out for a couple of weeks so that all of my basic witch homies can work through the course. It is an 8-week course, so they got to make their way through it, not trying to rush them through that course. So that's not going to be out for a while. So probably some astrology stuff in the meantime, but also just chilling. And, because Basic Witch was a big course. And yeah, I just put out my new astrology reading gig. So probably just focusing on that. If you guys haven't been able to tell, we pre-record these podcast episodes now. So so sitting here going like, oh, the 24th of June. What am I doing at that point in time? Yeah, I think that's probably what I'm doing. So, if you really want to know for certain, you can always just head to @satin.saturn, or you can head to jasminewolf.xyz. That's my website. You can also, if you just want some laughs and to learn some stuff in short form content, you can head to TikTok @satin.saturn. And that's the best way to get in touch with me, babies. Jess, what you up to?
Much like Jasmine, I'm mainly focusing on my readings at the moment. Business readings, life readings, whatever you need to know from spirit, just come and commune with us. Yeah. And then, so I did talk about this course in the last 4 blocks that we did because, like Jasmine said, we pre-record these. And I actually I might have released it now, the course Chakrology. So we're using chakra points and reflexology and a whole lot of other good stuff to just align yourself with yourself. Yeah, that's pretty much that. Come find all my love and goodness on Loving Incantations on IG. And yeah, I'll see you there. For now, let's listen to what Ella has to say about working with altars.
All right. So today I'm going to talk a little bit about ancestor altars. I love working with my ancestors. I have been fortunate enough that I have a long line of people who are hoarders like me and keep everything. Yeah, so I know a lot personally about my own family line, and that's probably one of the reasons I love it so much. But technically, you do not need to already have, like, analogs of family history to refer back to. Like, you can really work with your own lineage, just knowing some basic things about yourself, knowing one or more cultures that you come from is totally sufficient to working with your ancestors. They are available to you, regardless of if you have been fortunate enough to know who they are. So, that being said, I'm going to talk about 3 different things today. We're going to talk about setting up an ancestor altar, just like some suggestions to kind of give you some ideas so that you can run with it. We're going to talk a little about cleansing and protection, and I know Jasmine and Jess have some stories for you folks, some cautionary tales, shall we say. And then also I'm going to give you some ideas for leaving offerings to your ancestors. Okay, so let's talk about setting up an ancestor altar. So already we know that an altar is basically a sacred place where you are coming to commune with the divine or with those beyond. And so some of the things you can do to invite your ancestors to be active at your altar are to put up, like, kind of like in tarot, like how you have significantors, like you'll choose a card to represent somebody. So you can do that with, if you have photos, you can use photos of the people, or you can use symbolic items, anything that's meaningful to people who you love who've passed on, or if you are just kind of in general tapping back into your roots magically, you can choose some kind of item that to you represents, like, the culture you're from. So it can even, it can literally be like a magazine cutout of like something, you can use anything, whatever it is that makes you think of your roots. You can use it to be like, okay, I'm tapping into this energy, I'm allowing this lineage to, connect more with me and be more present with me. A couple notes about the setting up your significantors for your culture or your person or your people. Definitely try to separate ancestors that may have clashing beliefs or cultures. You can set up separate altars. You can put them at opposite ends of the altar, but like if you have, clashing cultures in your lineage, I would suggest trying to give them some separation. Think of it like if you're going to invite them to your wedding, imagine the seating chart you would make and kind of plan accordingly to that. And also, if you're going to put photos, try not to include living people in those photos.
Ella, but why?
It's just kind of bad luck, honestly. Like, it's a little superstitious, but in my opinion, just putting them up there. So what I do is I will take a picture, and if there's a living person in it, I'll put it in a frame, and then I'll put a sticker over their face. So I don't ruin the picture, but they're not shown on the altar. Yes, Jess?
Does it invite in death for the living person?
I'm not saying it does, but it is just kind of like, it's just kind of bad form, like, what I mean, like, it's just not necessarily a good message to send to the universe at your altar, putting a living person at an ancestor altar. So no, you're not going to like kill someone by putting them at your ancestor altar, but
what about pictures of yourself?
I wouldn't. You guys can all do what you want. I'm not going to tell you.
There's a reason I ask, and I know that it's unconventional, but I also don't have an ancestor altar, and mine would be like way different than I think what you're describing.
Okay.
Just because of how much I know about my lineage, which is not a lot. So when you're doing like self-work, you regularly, parts of you are dying. So it's a picture of me in the past.
Oh,
and that past me is dead. And I know that's silly, but it just came to my mind, so I needed to know.
Intention covers a lot. Like, it does not cover everything. I won't say that, but like your intention with things definitely matters. So if you're like, if it's like a releasing parts of yourself kind of altar, I mean, I'd say that's fine. That seems in alignment with what you're doing.
I would just
but if you're calling in dead people, putting a live person's photo with the dead people's photo is just not. Yeah, it's just kind of an icky thing to do, just kind of, it's not, I feel for myself that it's not good spiritual hygiene to do so. Yeah. So that's just my take on it. You can do whatever you want. My life is not your life, but these are my tips on, what we're doing.
I just would like to point out once again that Jess has Pluto in the first house. So, it's not surprising. She's like, oh, but a picture of me on my altar? That sounds right.
Yeah.
I literally have never done that.
My God,
I didn't
but it feels
think about it until this conversation, but it felt like something that it would feel good.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. So anyway, do what you want, but that's just my tip. Okay, other things you want to put on your altar, have some candles. They can be basic. You don't have to get too fancy, or you can get super fancy if you like to make things fancy, or if your ancestors like fancy things, go for it. Bring some offerings. We're going to talk about that afterwards. I always put some kind of herbs and flowers for protection and just for support. Marigolds are really good for ancestor work. Peppermint, rosemary. Those are just, there's plenty of herbs to use, but use what you got, whatever. All plant allies are pretty helpful.
I just had some marigolds given to me by my parents. So that seems very fitting here.
Yeah, that's cute. That's like, I feel like that's a sign of like generational healing. You know what I mean? Yeah, passing marigolds down the line.
I like that.
Yeah. Also, you're going to want some protection at your altar and cleansing tools. And that's actually what I'm going to cover next. So, So if you're talking to your ancestors, you're essentially, like communing with what's more beyond. And so you want to practice good spiritual hygiene. You want to protect yourself. You want to cleanse yourself and the area. And some ways you can do this, you can use crystals. Some of my favorites for this kind of work are obsidian, smoky quartz, black tourmaline, and pyrite. Also, pretty much, I'd say clear quartz and rose quartz are pretty good for, multi-purpose, any use kind of things. Some herbs or smoke cleansing, I would say rosemary, lavender, bay leaves. Don't burn garlic, but garlic is a good herb to put at your altar. What else? Oh, and then some good cleansing materials. Salt. You can have a dish of salt. You can scatter salt, however you feel like doing it. You can make a little ring of salt on your altar. Talismans. Those can be things that are meaningful or things that you've blessed or things that other people have blessed. Crosses, coins, pentacles, that kind of thing. I am a kitchen witch, so I have cast iron hanging around my house. Any type of iron is good spiritual protection. If you've ever watched Supernatural, you've probably seen them use like the fireplace tools to like battle a ghost and make it go away. Horseshoes, tire, or what are those things called? The rail thingies, the rail spikes or whatever they are. Yeah. Any
railroad spikes, nails.
Yes. Yeah. Iron is a classically known protective material because it is just like,
I have a little iron amulet
here
by my desk. Yeah.
Yes.
I keep it hidden so other people can't see it for extra protection.
I love that. Yeah. I hang my cast iron pots on my wall. And
Nice.
I'm just always trying to collect cast iron. I have a little cast iron cauldron at my altar. So anyway, that's one of my very favorites. I also feel like it is a good one for like folk magic users, head witches, kitchen witches, like especially folks who really focus on their immediate like surroundings, like people who work in nature and stuff like that. I feel like it's a really, really good one. Or on the flip side, people who like to astral travel a lot, kind of keeping that grounding protective energy. Pentacles, I said that as a talisman, but you can draw a pentacle, you can paint a pentacle, you can make one out of sticks, you can buy one somewhere, you can have a cup with a pentacle on it and put it on your altar. I mean, there's tons of ways, but that's one of my favorites as well. I feel like it really does a solid job when you're putting your full focus and intention into it. Also, religious symbols. If you come from a line of religious people or you believe in certain entities, gods, deities, whatever it may be, you know, you can bring that into your practice. And especially if your family has a history of worshiping, you know, whatever religion you follow, or even if you don't follow it anymore, you can still kind of incorporate those elements to kind of honor their gods. I feel like it is still important, even though I'm not a Christian. I try to at least show respect to my, you know, my ancestors' God, and just try not to like be a dick about it, you know. So I feel like, you know, just being polite. Like, I say thank you to like the Alexa thing at my in-laws' house, you know, like I'm just covering my bases here. I come to everything with like my manners intact, because I'm just like, let's just be right on my end.
Did you teach it how to have manners?
Did I teach
your Alexa
it? No.
say you're welcome?
No, I don't think so. Oh, actually, no, she does. I think she does. I think if you say thank you, she says you're welcome. But cool. Yeah, I always was like, if the robots take over, I want them to know that I like was not a bossy asshole, and I say thank you. Please.
I always do. I always say, Alexa, can you turn the bedroom light off? Instead of just turn the bedroom light off, I ask her to. Thank you.
Right. Please change the music. Yeah. Manners are never wasted, okay? I know it seems stupid and small, but honestly, just like if you just use your manners, like things go better for you. I swear it.
I do not talk to my technology. Does that mean that yeah, but is that a bad sign for when they take over? They're like, you never talk to us.
I don't know. I talk to everything.
I don't think it matters. I think either way it'll either be benevolent or malevolent. So
like I talk to the dishware. I don't know if the cups take over. I've been nice to them too.
Everything. Yeah.
I never know what dimension we'll land in.
I literally talk to everything. I don't know. Everything's a piece of everything, you know? We all come from this one giant beautiful earth, so why not?
We're all made of star stuff.
Yeah, exactly. You can also cleanse with sound. You can use bells, you can use drums or any kind of instrument. If you play the recorder, if you play the clarinet, if you are a trombonist, whatever you play, you can play that in and have it be cleansing. You can sing songs, you can chant, you can repeat poems, you can say prayers. But using your voice or another means of sound is a good cleansing practice. Okay, I'm gonna move on to the alterings. No, offerings. All right. So just depending on what background you come from, your offerings may be a little different. I tried to be kind of vague with these because everyone has, you know, different specifics, and I'm just trying to give you ideas. I'm not trying to like give you a black and white, you know, manifesto on how to build an ancestor altar. You know, it's a very personal thing. So practice the way you practice. But these are some things that I found in my practice and in literature and just in study and talking to people that are acceptable offerings. Alcohol, spirits for the spirits, y'all. Food and drink, I'm just gonna say, like, try not to forget about it, because I have definitely had bugs on my altar more than once, and it's really not fun, and that's not good altar hygiene. So just, you know, leave it for a little bit and clean it up. You can put money. There is specific money made for altars. I don't know, like, the practice it originated in or anything like that, but you can also use regular money. I put real, like, bills on mine, like, even if it's just like $2, to just kind of like be like, thank you, and, you know, have that energy at my altar. Incense, fruit, I guess that's a food, but fruit, plants of any kind, herbs, flowers, all that good stuff. Anything that's like appealing to the senses. I really like to make it a sensory experience for them. I feel like sometimes our ancestors miss the sensuality of Earth. I think that's a lot of the reason souls will keep coming back, because this planet is just so sensual. You know, like there's so many things to really experience through your body. So I try to give them a piece of that. Artwork, whether you make it or you found it and you thought it was cute, you know, I always kind of imagine my ancestors as like, you know, running over to grandma and being like, look at this cool thing I found, you know. You can dance at your altar, you can burn tobacco, you can sing songs, you can bring tokens and mementos, you know, like I said, I'm a little hoarder, so I can like, you know, sometimes bring them little like, look at this ticket stub at this place I went to, it's so nice, you know. So whatever works for you, whatever you have available, however you practice is all good. And then I don't have like an interactive activity to do right at this moment, but I do have a little bit of homework for all of you. Already, you know, taking notes and diving in. Even if you don't intend to work with your ancestors or your line, I really would love it if you guys go out into your life and you talk to whoever, you know, your friend or your family or whatever, and just kind of talk about, you know, like yourself and your story. And I also want you to look into, like, you know, if you're like, okay, I know I'm German, you know, just Google, you know, traditional German things. You can learn stories, you know, like mythology, folklore. You can learn about magic. You can learn about their herbal practices, whatever, however you're kind of in that. But just like, you know, just kind of tap that back in and like recognize where you came from and who, you know, whose shoulders you're standing on, you know, and just tap back into that. So little challenge if you feel like doing it and sharing about it in your stories. I know it's really personal for a lot of people, so I don't expect you to, but if you feel like sharing it and you tag us, we will definitely share it. We love seeing, you know, you guys enjoy this. So that's about all I have to say on ancestor altars. I think I covered all my bases.
Don't put your ancestor altar in your bedroom if you don't want your ancestors to just watch you while you sleep and wake you up in the night every night. That's what I learned.
There we go.
Mm-hmm.
Tidbits.
They can be quite noisy.
They don't mean anything by it, and they never scared me. It was just really annoying. That's all.
God, I'm trying to sleep.
Yeah, it eventually got to the point where I was just like, guys, I know you mean well, and I put stuff out for you. I need to go to bed. Like, I have to literally be up in 3 hours to go to work. You guys can hang out during the day, but at night, I need you to not be here. And they'll listen, you know? If you talk, they'll listen. So it was fine. But yeah, altars, if you're leaving out offerings on altars, I would suggest not putting it in your bedroom. That's my biggest altar tip.
Word.
Got anything, Dad?
Yeah, no, excellent advice. Excellent advice.
On par as usual.
Yes. Yeah. The tea is fine, my dear. 'Tis lovely tea.
Tea is lovely, as always.
And on that note, my dear, lovely pot coven, we must bid you adieu. But before we do that, come find us on Instagram, Power of 3 Podcast. Let us know what you are up to, how you are working with your altars. Share it, tag us. There might be a door prize in it for you. A sticker, a moment to chat with the three of us. I don't know. We'll let
whisper.
You know. In your ear. On a
whisper
Sunday
to your
morning.
inbox. Thank
you. Send us your questions, comments, concerns, or any ideas you have for future Grimoire episodes to powerof3witchpodcast@gmail.com. And we will talk to you, lovelies, another day.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.